Okay, this is chapter 5. It is part 2. So we're going to be talking about motivation and getting to that third part. So Hertzberg's two-factor theory, and I really like this one, although I have to tell you, as far as I understand, it's not as grounded in the literature as you would like it to be. That means that it's not necessarily academically sound, so you can't really hang your hat on it, but like Maslow, it makes intuitive sense, and here's why. Hertzberg's two-factor theory, there's hygiene factors and then there's motivators. So a hygiene factor is a work condition that is, oops, sorry about that, a work condition that is related to dissatisfaction caused by discomfort or pain. So a hygiene factor is a kind of factor that is not not pleasant. It's just going to be kind of a problem, okay? And it contributes to employees' feelings of being not satisfied, okay? And then you have motivational factors. Motivational factors are related to satisfaction or a need for psychological growth, and this is going to lead to superior performance. It's the hygiene factors, even if you meet the hygiene factors, are not going to make you motivated or excited. It's only going to get you so far. It's just the best you can do is keep them from becoming a problem. So we used to think in terms before Hertzberg that there was just like this one scale, and you're either dissatisfied or you're really satisfied, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle along the way. Hertzberg changed that. He said, look, there are some factors that will help you achieve great satisfaction. Look at number 1. Number 1 is achievement, right? That's a motivator. And look at number 7, which is below this line of what leads to great dissatisfaction. There's a little bit that you can do to satisfy. But number 7 here is company policy and administration. There's not a lot of company policies that generally make you go, woo, I love this company policy. I am so motivated. It just doesn't tend to work that way, right? So there are things like number 8, supervision, or number 9, your relationship with your boss. Now, if you have a bad relationship with your boss, it can be the equivalent, according to studies, of eating a steady diet of fried food. Okay, of really bad fatty food that, I mean, the kind of thing that you say, like, you know, stay away from that because that can cause heart problems. A bad relationship can cause that, right? Where a good relationship isn't going to get you that far, but it's good to be so it doesn't demotivate. Okay, now, while we're on that topic, let's talk about stress. There's good stress, which is called eustress. It's healthy, normal stress. You're striving for a goal. And then there's the kind of stress that's really bad, okay? So if you're in eustress, you're looking for opportunities and challenges, and it brings you energy. That's different than being stressed out where you can't think or you're ill. Adam's theory of inequality, inequity. So inequity is when a person perceives that he or she is receiving less or than he or she is giving. So how this works out is you're the person, this is you, right? And you are comparing yourself in your organization to other people like you, and you're looking at your colleague in the next office or next cubicle over from you, and you're saying, I'm putting in the same amount and I'm getting the same amount. So I'm putting in the same 40-hour work week and I'm getting the same $30,000 of income. Okay, if it's the same and it's the same, everything's fine. If I'm getting greater, if there's greater outcomes than inputs, or you know, if you're less than your neighbor, then there's negative. If you're getting, you know, paid less for the same work, right, that's negative. If you're getting paid more, that's what the sign is. If you're getting paid more, then it's positive. So it depends on how you're seeing what's going on, or how, and it's very subjective, and you're comparing yourself with somebody else. Okay, so here's how this works. There's strategies for resolving that. You either alter the person's outcomes, you alter your own outcomes, you alter the person's inputs, okay, or you alter the comparison others' inputs, or you can alter the comparison others' inputs. Now, what does that mean in effort? Okay, so if I find out that I'm getting paid $20,000 or euros, and you're getting paid 30,000 euros, and I'm doing the exact same work, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm not going to work so hard. That's altering your own input. Or maybe you alter your own outcome, or your own outcome. What you do is you work really hard in order to get to that 30,000. If your system provides that, maybe as a salesman you might be able to do that, where in another job you might not be able to. But you look at that and go, well, that's not fair. What you're doing is you're rationalizing the inequity. You're trying to figure out how to make this fair, and that's the whole point of this. Okay, and if you can't rationalize it, you leave the organization. You move on and go somewhere else. Okay, I prefer, so some people prefer equity sensitivity where everybody's exactly the same. Some people are benevolence. Hey, if other people are doing well, great. God bless them. More power to them. And then other people feel entitled. The higher you go in power within an organization, the more entitled you tend to feel. Okay, so some people feel entitled. They're comfortable with an equity ratio greater than that of a comparison. But in equity theory, this doesn't mean that you're a boss 3 levels up as opposed to a worker. That's not quite it. If you're a boss 3 levels up and you're comparing yourself as a vice president to other vice presidents, that's how the theory would actually work. Now, expectancy theory of motivation, some key things that you have to understand are things like valence, expectancy, and instrumentality. Valence is the value or importance that is placed on a particular reward. So let's talk about your salary. You're making 30,000 euros. How important is it that you have that particular reward? That's the valence. And then expectancy is the belief that if you do it, your effort will lead to performance. If you do your job, you'll get your 30,000. And then instrumentality is the belief that performance is related to rewards. And so you have effort leading to performance, leading to reward. That's the idea behind equity theory. It's pretty simple. If I just do this effort and I will get that, I will perform this way and I will get to my reward. Okay. Last thing that we're going to talk about here in this half is the causes of motivational problems. Sometimes you have a belief that effort will not result in performance. Like you can do your very best and it's just not going to work. If that happens, you're just not going to be motivated. Why bother? It doesn't matter. Okay? Maybe you believe that performance will not lead to rewards. That your performance, that even if you do your job, not that you can't, your effort won't lead to the performance, but that your performance, when you actually do it, you're still not going to get paid, right? So if that's the case, why bother? Or maybe the value a person places on or a preference that the person has for certain rewards is more or less. So if you really don't, if you're independently wealthy and you're, let's say you're a millionaire, you have all the money in the world, that $30,000 or 30,000 euro a year job isn't going to really do much for you, right? So you place less value on it than somebody that really needs the job in order to eat. So those 3 things can cause motivational problems. Cultural differences could be part of the issue as well. What I just described here may or may not work in different contexts. It may not work in China. It may not work even in parts of Eastern Europe. These are using Western European kind of and U.S. results in the research. So you got to be careful. There are other cultural results where they value other things. For example, in China, they may value harmony and relationship far more than the end state. And finally, ways to motivate people. You can help by giving them proper training. Your job when you're a manager, when you're leading others, is to equip them with that which they need in order to be successful. That's your job. So if you train them, they then understand how to do the job in order to get to the rewards. You can coach them into how to do that. You can work with the assignments, the rewards. Make it, maybe it's if you do this, then you'll get that. But you got to be careful with if-then rewards. Okay, and valued rewards, it has to be something that they actually want. Like, for example, more salary. Maybe it's more freedom or flexibility in their job. You have to have something that they actually value. The valence has to be there. Okay, so that's all. I'm sorry that I had to split this into 2 parts, but there was a lot here in this section on motivation. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'll talk to you later.